Billionaires are often seen as untouchable, their wealth vast enough to protect them from the challenges most of us face. But not all billionaires hold their wealth in cash or tangible assets. Many are paper billionaires, with their fortunes tied up in stock valuations, speculative investments, or inflated company valuations. What happens when those valuations crash? Some lose everything, their vast empires turning into dust overnight. Today, we're counting down the top 10 paper billionaires who vanished, those who soared to unimaginable wealth, only to fall just as fast. These stories are not just fascinating, they hold important lessons about greed, speculation, and the fragility of wealth. Let's get started with the list. Number 10. Elizabeth Holmes, the Silicon Valley Mirage. Elizabeth Holmes was the CEO of Theranos, a company that promised to revolutionize healthcare with a single drop of blood. Her story was celebrated in Silicon Valley. She wore a black turtleneck to emulate Steve Jobs, and investors poured millions into her vision. At its peak, Theranos was valued at $9 billion, and Holmes' stake in the company made her a billionaire on paper, with an estimated worth of $4.5 billion. But behind the scenes, things were not as they seemed. Investigative journalism and whistleblowers revealed that Theranos technology didn't work as promised. When the truth came out, the company collapsed almost overnight. Holmes went from being a celebrated innovator to facing criminal charges for fraud. Her story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of believing your own hype and overpromising on unproven technology. Number 9. Sha Quinn, Ireland's richest man who lost it all. Sha Quinn was once Ireland's richest man. His fortune came from the Quinn Group, which had interests in insurance, cement, and property. At his peak, Quinn had a paper fortune estimated at $4 billion. Quinn's downfall began when he heavily invested in the Anglo-Irish Bank. He took massive loans to buy shares in the bank, believing its value would keep rising. But then came the 2008 financial crisis. The bank collapsed, and so did Quinn's investments. Quinn's story didn't end there. He faced bankruptcy and a series of legal battles. His wealth, once vast, vanished completely, leaving him to reflect on the risks of over-leveraging and relying too heavily on one investment. Number 8. Adam Newman, the rise and fall of WeWork. Adam Newman is a name synonymous with the rise and fall of WeWork. He co-founded the company with the idea of transforming office spaces into co-working hubs. WeWork grew rapidly, attracting billions in investment. At its height, the company was valued at $47 billion, and Newman's stake made him a billionaire many times over. But the cracks in WeWork's foundation began to show when the company filed for an IPO in 2019. Investors discovered financial mismanagement, unsustainable growth, and a leadership style that raised eyebrows. The IPO was pulled, the valuation plummeted, and Newman was ousted. Though Newman walked away with a substantial payout, his paper billions were gone. His story highlights how unchecked ambition and poor governance can bring even the most promising ventures to their knees. Number 7. Alan Stanford, the billionaire built on lies. Alan Stanford lived a life of luxury, claiming to have a net worth of over $2 billion. His empire, Stanford Financial Group, offered high returns to investors and presented itself as a reputable financial institution. However, in 2009, it was revealed that Stanford was running a massive Ponzi scheme. He used new investors' money to pay returns to earlier investors while pocketing millions for himself. When the scheme collapsed, Stanford's empire disintegrated, and he was sentenced to 110 years in prison. Stanford's story serves as a harsh reminder that not all wealth is built on solid ground. When deception is at the core, collapse is inevitable. Number 6. Masayoshi Son, the dot-com bubble casualty. Masayoshi Son, founder of SoftBank, was one of the wealthiest individuals during the dot-com boom. In 2000, his net worth was estimated at $78 billion, making him one of the richest men in the world at the time. SoftBank had invested in dozens of internet startups, and as their valuations skyrocketed, so did Son's fortune. But the dot-com bubble burst, and the value of SoftBank's investments plummeted. Son's paper wealth evaporated almost overnight. Unlike others on this list, Son didn't vanish completely. He rebuilt his fortune over time, focusing on long-term investments and innovation. His story is a testament to resilience, even after monumental losses. Number 5. Vijay Mallya, The king of good times no more. Vijay Mallya was once the face of luxury in India. He owned Kingfisher Airlines, a brewing empire, and even an IPL cricket team. At his peak, Mallya was a billionaire on paper, with assets tied to his companies and properties. But Kingfisher Airlines began losing money, and Mallya took loans to keep it afloat. When the debts mounted, he couldn't repay them. Accused of financial fraud and money laundering, Mallya fled India to avoid prosecution. His paper fortune vanished, and today he lives in exile in the UK. Mallya's fall from grace is a story of overindulgence, poor management, and the perils of debt. Number 4. Borgur Goodmanson, Iceland's financial crash victim. Borgur Goodmanson was Iceland's wealthiest man, with a fortune tied to Landsbanki, one of the country's largest banks. During Iceland's economic boom, Goodmanson's wealth soared. But the 2008 financial crisis hit Iceland hard. Landsbanki collapsed under the weight of bad loans and speculative investments. Goodmanson's fortune disappeared overnight, and he filed for bankruptcy. His story underscores the risks of over-leveraged banking systems and how quickly fortunes can change in times of economic uncertainty. Number 3. Trevor Milton, the Nikola fraud scandal. Trevor Milton founded Nikola, an electric truck company with grand promises of transforming the transportation industry. Investors bought into the hype, and Nikola's valuation skyrocketed. Milton's stake in the company made him a billionaire on paper. But reports soon surfaced, accusing Nikola of misleading investors about its technology. Videos showing trucks in motion were allegedly staged, and claims about the company's capabilities were exaggerated. The stock price plummeted, Milton resigned, and his paper billions disappeared. Milton's fall highlights the dangers of overhyping unproven innovations and the importance of transparency with investors. Number 2. Ike Batista, Brazil's fallen star. In the past, Ike Batista was the wealthiest individual in Brazil, with a net worth that was greater than $30 billion. Companies in the oil and mining industries, most notably OGX, were the source of his riches. The fact that investors believed in Batista's vision caused the valuations of his firms to skyrocket. As a result of OGX's inability to reach its production targets, the stock experienced a significant decline. Legal issues and allegations of corruption ensued, which ultimately resulted in Batista's money being wiped out. As of right now, he is not even close to being a billionaire. The example of Batista exemplifies how even the most successful business people may find themselves in a catastrophic financial situation if they overpromise and underdeliver on their promises. Number 1. Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto king who crashed. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX, was once a shining star in the crypto world. He became a billionaire at the age of 29, with a fortune reaching a staggering $26 billion. His company, FTX, was seen as one of the most innovative in the crypto space, and Bankman-Fried was regarded as a visionary leader. He even garnered attention from mainstream media, politicians, and celebrities. But in 2022, everything came crashing down. Allegations emerged that Bankman-Fried's company was misusing customer funds, making risky trades, and failing to manage its financials properly. As these allegations came to light, FTX's valuation plummeted, and the company filed for bankruptcy. Sam's fortune, built largely on the speculative value of FTX and other crypto assets, vanished overnight. His $26 billion net worth, once the envy of the industry, evaporated, leaving him facing criminal charges and investigations. What makes this story even more shocking is how quickly it all unraveled. One minute, Bankman-Fried was a crypto hero. The next, he was a cautionary tale. His downfall has left the crypto world in turmoil and has raised questions about the risks of speculative investments in unregulated markets. Bankman-Fried's rise and fall remind us how volatile and fragile paper wealth can be, especially when built on speculation, hype, and a lack of transparency. Now, he's facing a long road ahead, with his reputation and future on the line. The stories of these paper billionaires remind us that wealth built on speculation and inflated valuations is fragile. Their rises and falls are fascinating but also serve as cautionary tales. Which story shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the world of wealth and finance. See you next time.